Hello, 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 hello. I'm back with another edition of Let's Chat with Mrs. B. Yes, I promised I would be back with another edition showing you how I plan my days and manage to get rid of all the distractions. Well, not get rid of them, they're always there, but deal with them. Before we get started, please, 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 please hit the subscribe button. If you've already done that, hit the bell so that you'll be the first to know when I drop a new video. Yes, 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 yes. Make sure you do that and share this video with all your friends. You know, we all want to learn together. We all want to learn together. So I promised you I would be back with my plan, my daily plan of how I get through the day and how I deal with the distractions of all the little ones being at home at the moment. So the first thing you need to do is plan. Plan. So at the beginning of the year, I came up with a plan. I listed down all the things that I wanted to do for the year, and I put them into like small bite-sized pieces that were achievable and doable. I'm not sure if you can see this, but you know, I have a plan where I wrote down all my daily tasks. I wrote down all the projects that I'm working on, personal and business. And within those, I listed all the things down that I wanted to achieve in the next 3 months. And that is another tip. Break it down into bite-sized, achievable sections. Don't plan for the whole year. Or you can have it in your mind for the whole year. Like, I want to finish my website. I want to deal with a podcast. I want to write this. But after that, break it down into bite-sized chunks. My bite-sized chunks are 3 months each. So I'm going to do 4 of these per year, okay? 4 of these per year. So each one is for 3 months, okay? And then once I know what I want to be working on, I do this. Ta-da! I devise a daily timetable. It's really, really hard to see, but what I'll do is I'll be taking pictures of it and I'll put it up for you so you can see. But what I do is I start every day by dealing with emails, a daily diary that I have to write for something that I can't tell you about, and some VO training. So with VO training, you can see that's scribbled on because it's something that I decided to do like in the past couple of weeks. So I've now got myself like joined a mentoring program, and I decided that I'm going to do that in the morning before I start on my work, because I always want to improve on myself and improve on my skills, and it's something I want to do daily. So I do it in the morning, first thing, so that I get it done, so that it is done. So deal with emails straight away so they don't distract me for the rest of the day. Do my daily diary so it's done and it doesn't build up, and get some VO training done. And what I try to do is I just try to do 45 minutes a day of my VO training. Again, what I do within that VO training, for example, is I have a list of things that I want to achieve in the VO training within the next 3 months. So it's about writing a big plan, and then bringing it down into smaller size chunks, and then bringing it down again so you can really pinpoint how you are going to achieve all the goals that you have set for this year. I'm telling you now, a plan is not this. This is what I used to do. I used to write down just what I wanted to achieve for the year, right? I used to write this down. It doesn't work, because what I was failing to do was I was failing to write down my roadmap. How was I going to get there? Right? We really need to do that. How are you going to get there? And you need to try and break it down into what you're going to be doing daily. So don't forget what I said. You've got your year plan, break it down into like 3 months, then break it down maybe even into a month, and then what you're going to be doing daily. Okay, so next you need to deal with the phone. The phone for me used to be a huge distraction, because you can do everything on the phone. Not only do people call you, you can access social media, then I'll start reading the papers. Boy, I can kill a good 2-3 hours on the phone, and it's really, 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 really bad. But now I have become really, really disciplined with my time. So when people call me, I will tell them that I'm busy, or I've only got 30 seconds, or I've only got 2 minutes. Is it really going to take 2 minutes or 30 seconds? If not, I'd love to have a chat with you. I really need to talk to you. So how about I call you at 7? Like, let's make sure the kids have had dinner and we can have a really good chat. And people tend to appreciate that. And what you'll find is that people who get the most out of their day actually are really good at doing this. Really think about it. There are those people that when you call them, they have no problem telling you it's not a good time, I'll call you later. So I don't understand sometimes why we, or me in particular, let me not say you might be better at this than me, but why I find it difficult to say, do you know what, now is not a good time. Just now is not a good time. There are certain people that I will always answer the phone to, which is my mum, my aunt, my husband, my kids' schools, and that's fair enough. But again, you know, keep it short if you need to keep it short. Yeah, so that's that. My law, how far? Yeah, so I did. I'm just doing some work. Is it important? Yeah, no, I'm really busy. Can we talk later on? 5 minutes, Kate. Do you mean 5 minutes in Africa or 5 minutes in London? Exactly. So let me call you back later, okay? 7:30, I promise. All right, speak to you later. Bye. So next, it's coffee breaks. Another thing that I am really bad at is taking coffee breaks or getting distracted by the most useless things. So what I've learned to do now is have set break times like the kids do at school. So I know now that my kids have a break time around 11:30. So I now also go for my coffee break around 11:30. So I know that I'm working solidly from 9 till about 11:30, right? Done. If they can do it, I most definitely can do it as well. Ladies, don't go and do the hoovering. Don't do that. If the washing up's in the sink, the washing up's in the sink. Try and do it before you start work at 9 if you want to, or let the kids do it. I'm sure they're all quite capable, depending on how big your kids are. But if it's in the sink, you're just going to have to really block your brain and leave it there. Yeah. Another thing I used to be really bad at is like, I can't start work until my downstairs is tidy. So again, I make sure I factor that time in before the day starts to make sure it's done. But I am usually by my desk at 9 o'clock, say 9:15, ready to start. And I am focused. Okay, next, lunch breaks. Right, I'm going to break this down into two. There are lunch breaks now that the children are at home, which is now a little bit different. And then there are lunch breaks when they're at school. So lunch breaks while the children are at home, I did something wrong at first. I was like, oh no, you can just deal with yourselves, feed yourselves, because you know I'm busy, I've got things to do and you're distracting me. Big mistake, huge mistake, because then I would go down to like a war zone in my kitchen because everyone's come down at different times and everyone's cooked different things at different times, and then they have no time to clean up after themselves because they've got to go back to their live lessons at a certain time. And then who's left to deal with it? Me. And who is now not able to follow their timetable because I'm a bit of a clean freak, because I will have to now wash up before I go back upstairs. You see, it's didn't work. So I figured out, this is what I'm going to do. I am now school canteen dinner lady, and I don't mind now. It's okay. I loathed it before, but I don't mind, because this is what I do. I know that the first person coming down for lunch is at 12:20. So I go down for lunch at 12 and I cook for everybody. Not necessarily a big thing, maybe it's sandwiches, noodles, something in the oven, whatever it is. But I get the food ready for everybody, because that way I'm in control and they can come down and eat from the one place. They can, soon as they're ready, eat, clean up after themselves and go straight back upstairs. And also I get to spend some time with them as well, because you know that time between 12 and 1 is my time to have lunch. I have my time with them. I might make phone calls, return those calls of the people that I told them, you know, I said to you, I'll call you back at 1. So I'll call them back at 1. Any of those little itty bitty emails, I might reply an email then. But then I'm not distracted and I can really focus on lunchtime. And then once they are finished and they've gone to play, I come back to my desk. Sometimes I come back before them, sometimes I come back at the same time as them. But the point is, do it at the same time. It's less distracting and you'll be far less stressed. And you have to tell the people at work, do you know what, this is my lunchtime. People have to understand that the kids are at home and you have got to see to them as well. So do you know what, I feed my kids between 12 and 1. Holler at me after that. I can't help you in between those times. I'm getting lethal. I'm not playing around anymore. I'm getting lethal for my mental health. That's what I'm doing. It's slightly different though when they are not at school. I deal with it a little bit different, and this is what I do. Once the kids have gone back to school, do not fall back into the habit of having lunch at your desk. That's the main difference, I think, between having the children at home and then being at school, is that when the children at home, we are forced to step away from our desks to have lunch because we've got to go and, sort them out. But now we might fall back into those old habits. Don't do that. Develop the habit of stepping away from your desk for at least 20 to 30 minutes a day, at least. Do not browse social media, do not read the papers online, don't watch YouTube, don't do anything like that that involves a screen. Give your eyes a break, you're making them dry. Okay, so step away from your desk and you will notice a difference in the quality of the work you're producing for the rest of the afternoon. Trust me. So, okay, next, the kids. Back to them. They do need help during this difficult time of home learning and everything. So I can't completely ignore them. We can't do that to them. But what I do is I do try to let them know that they can come to me at set times. So they can come to me maybe at 10:30 for 10 minutes, or 2:10 for a couple of minutes, so I can help them. So when they knock on the door and say, it's an emergency, I need help, I say to them, okay, put it to the side and I will come to you at this time. The teachers at school understand. They know it's difficult for us parents at home at the moment. So you've just got to try and work with the kids, to work with your time, to work with their time, and get it sorted. But that's what I do. I get them to come to me at set times, because I'm not very good at breaking my flow. So I would rather they do that. So another thing that we have in the house is a closed door policy. If the door is closed during the day, during working hours, during school time, it means the person behind the door is probably in a lesson, in a meeting, doing some work, and it's probably not a good time to disturb them. So if you want to feel the wrath of the person behind the door, go ahead, barge in. But if you don't, keep the door shut, not lightly. If you don't hear response, they're probably busy. It works in my household, try it. Another thing you want to do is compartmentalize, so that you are working set hours during the day and that you're having time with your family or for yourself after work. Okay, so 9 till 3, 9 till 4, 9 to 5, that's totally up to you, but give the time to your family, give the time for yourself to yourself. Compartmentalize.
Can I have help with my work?
What time is help time?
2:10.
Is it 2:10?
No.
All right, I'll see you at 2:10, okay? All right, see you then. Bye. Okay, so I had to come back and do a little bit more of this video again because I deleted some of the files. Anyway, so I'm back. I'm going to do this bit again, so I hope it still flows really, really well for you. I think I left off at success rewards. What you need to do also to motivate yourself is reward yourself. You're never ever too old to give yourself those little stars, those little gold sticker stars. Every time you tick something off on the list, reward yourself so that you can really quantify how much you have done that week or that day, and then maybe have targets. So I try to have 15 stars at the end of the week, right? So that's 3 per day. 3 times 5 is 15, 3 per day. So I try to complete 3 complete tasks. I don't mean like the mini ones. I try to complete 3 major things per day. And if I've done that, it gets my 15 per week. And sometimes I'll get 10, sometimes I'll get even just 5. On really bad days, I'll get none if I've got brain fog and I'm not feeling too great. But what I've learned to do also is allow myself to not feel too great and say, do you know what, I'm going to pick this up tomorrow. Because sometimes when I'm working through the pain, or I'm working through the pain fog, I'm working through Mother Nature's visits and all of that, my work, the quality isn't as good. So I am blessed enough to say, I work for myself, so I can say, do you know what, I'm going to pick this up later on in the evening when the kids have gone to bed. I'm going to have maybe a power nap and come back to it, or I'll pick it up tomorrow. And that's absolutely fine, especially in these times, especially during these corona times. The brain fog is real, folks. It is, honestly, the more time goes on, the more real it is. So make sure you're getting out, for your exercise. Make sure that you are going for walks, make sure you're having time with the kids, you're taking a lot of time away from your screens, and you're doing things that make you happy and that give you those happy vibes. It's honestly, it's so important. Make sure you're eating well, and you'll find that your plans are much more achievable when you do that. Don't set goals that are too high, but set them high enough. Husband always says to me, it's always good to aim high and miss rather than to aim low and hit. However, not unachievable goals as well, because then if you don't achieve them, if you're like way low, you feel crap about yourself, and nobody wants to feel like that, really, do they? So that is that. Yes, so that's me. That is Let's Chat with Mrs. B, and my little tips. They're not detailed tips. If you'd like me to do anything detailed, like more detail on my planning, because I have, gosh, 2 businesses I run with 2 fantastic ladies, and then I've got my VO stuff that I'm doing, and then my acting stuff that I'm doing, and then I've got this channel that I'm trying to get off the ground as well. So there's a lot going on, but I just found with a lot of planning, I'm managing to push forward a lot better and a lot easier, and find time for the kids. So if you'd like me to do a more detailed video on any of that, let me know and I shall. So yeah, that's it. Don't forget to hit the subscription button and the little notification bell so that you'll be the first to know when I do a new video. I don't know what it's going to be on, but there is going to be another one very soon. And yeah, stay healthy, stay safe, stay well, and hopefully we'll all be socializing with each other very soon. Au revoir, love you all.